Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody at least had a good day today, despite everything happening in the world. In any case, let's take our minds off of things and go to a different time. One where arcades rule the roost, and esports is king. Let's do it, shall we? There we go. Okay. Alright, so when last we met Socks, they were basically trying to figure out what they wanted to do in life. Iris didn't tell me to stop playing, so until I can figure out my answers, I guess I'll keep playing. And honestly, I think distracting myself with a little FOD2 would be nice right about now, win or lose. So, with a shrug, I walk into good clean fun, headed for the arcade. By the time I arrive in the arcade, the rest of the crew's already gathered, talking amongst themselves. When I approach, they switch focus to me. And lo, the newbie hath returned! Excellent! Let's get this party started! That's gimmick infringement, Zapper. Only I get to use the King's English. But yes, 'tis quite excellent indeed. Jinx just offers me a quiet, knowing nod of appreciation, not prone to flowery speeches. Okay, so we decided we're going to spend the rest of the afternoon taking turns playing some Fist of Discomfort 2 in honor of our new friend. We'll take turns beating each up online randos, and those not playing can cheer the other ones on. It'll be educational and fun. And you get first crack at it, of course. So, who's your lucky partner for the inaugural match of this afternoon's festivities? For a moment, I'm speechless. I figured it'd be like pulling teeth getting them to play my game. But here they are, ready to welcome me into the fold with some hot ninja flight in action. Thanks, everyone. It'll be nice to show off a little, too. I could use the ego boost. Thankfully, I brought my keyboard from home to play with. I'm not used to arcade joysticks yet. I may not know much about arcades, but I do know FOD2 has a built-in slide-out tray and USB ports so you can bring a joystick from home. I took my keyboard out from my backpack, slotted into place, and fortunately the numlock light turns green when I plug it in. It's good to go. Aside from the weird looks I'm getting from everyone, as probably the only person on planet Earth who prefers to play this game with WASD keys. Now then, whom to play with? Alright, let's roll! Option 4. So we are going to partner up with Grace. Hey Grace, how about we team up and see how well the ninja AI can stand up to our skills? Probably won't be much of a fight. They're as dumb as a box of hammers. Ninja hammers or something. Ninjammers. She pulls an old-school game controller from one of her many pockets, unwinding the USB cord and plugging it into the game. I'm better with a D-pad than a joystick, but don't worry, I got this. But before we can begin, my phone chimes in from the depths of my pocket with a question. Hey, can I ask a favor? I'm starting as a blank slate here, a default Iris. I don't have any real knowledge of how this game you're all obsessed with actually works. Wait, she calculated out which team I should join without actually knowing how FOD2 works in the first place? Weird. I think it'd help if you two played through a match while explaining the basics to me. You're a computer. Can't you just, jack into the Matrix and instantly know FOD2 Kung Fu or something? Oh, I could go download the data. I'd need to really be great at this game. I mean, computers have been beating humans at games for decades, she said with a tiny puff of pride in her voice. But I'm an emotional language interpreter. Hearing things in your own words helps me learn. So, if you don't mind, could you give me a quick tutorial? Okay, so it looks like there is an actual minigame in all this, so we are going to go through and explain how it all works. Right, so, do you know anything about the original Fist of Discomfort before it went to a 2-on-2 battle format? Sort of. It's a MOBA, right? Multiplayer online battle arena? Fight down the lanes, destroy the enemy dojo? Okay, so you've got some data. Good. But the game's changed considerably with the sequel. Now, it's less about zone control and more of a score attack game. The story is of two rival clans vying for control of the legendary Sacred Dojo. For one full year, they fought down the Bridge of Destiny until in winter, they reached their ultimate destination. At that point, the dojo doors opened, and allowed in only the most worthy, the most honorable clan. The other was exiled from the lands forever. Such a rich and involving backstory. Nah, it's just a goofy way of saying score more points than the other team before time runs out. Each team has 2 players, and an unending swarm of ninja minions. Every stage is one giant kung fu fight scene. Excuse me. Each minion you beat up scores you points. Each time you KO an enemy player, you score points. Your goal is to score the most points before the game ends. To do that, we have to optimize, counterplay, and outthink our opponents. We farm ninjas for gold, buy weapons and scrolls, summon more minions, use special moves and cooldowns. Whoa, slow down, this is sounding complicated. Oh, you're certainly capable of learning all this, Iris. I know your abilities. You can do it. Or, you could just learn the RPS metagame. That's probably enough for someone to get the basic info. Idea. The, what? RPS metagame. Or, wait for it, rock, paper, scissors. Wait, the most complicated esport in the world is just rock, paper, scissors? Basically, everything else is just nitty-gritty details. At the heart of it all, there's 4 tactics to pick from. Defending against an aggressor using powerful special abilities, or just directly attacking the enemy and their ninjas. Rock, paper, scissors. I mean, if you look at it closely, the icons are literally a rock, a paper scroll, and 2 swords crossed like scissors. The obvious one is to attack, diving in and fighting with your fists and blades. It interrupts anyone using a special ability, but if they're defending, it won't work. Scissors beats paper, but is beaten by rock. You're getting it, yeah. Defending holds the line against incoming attacks, but gets blown away by slower activating stronger special abilities. You can't react quickly enough. Specials are big and flashy and awesome, and blow away defenders, but a quick aggro attacker can interrupt you. I'm guessing those identity traits you've been analyzing could be a good indicator of how strong you are with each ability, too. That would make sense. A very steady person would be excellent at figuring out exactly the right time to use a special. Yep, Gutsy is great for attacking, Kindly can defend well, and Quirky is probably a jack of all trades. Got it. So, all I need to know are these 3 techniques? Well, there's a 4th, a trump card, your ultimate ability. Each team can only use one of those per game. Your ult smashes through everything. Everything. And if your opponent tries to ultimate at the same time, yours counters it for huge points. Grace and I will be taking on another 2 players, trying to predict their attacks, defense, specials, and ultimates, countering with our own. Do that well enough and you win. I see. So really, I just need to know those 4 things, and that's enough to follow the flow of a match. That's the basics. There are also bonus points based on your skill and what season of the year you're in, but we'll go over that as we play. Here, we'll start up a game so we can show you. Grace drops in 2 quarters, 1 for each of us, and fires up the online matchmaker to find us a good pair of punching bags to demonstrate our skills on. Okay, I've played against these particular randos before. Should be a good warm-up for us. Mr. Come At Me Bro loves to attack. He's not dense enough to do it all the time, but more often than not, he'll be in your face. He's also bad at predicting our moves. I should start by defending, since he's likely to rush right at me.
Fart.
So come at me, bro wants to come at me? Fine by me. I turtle up and defend against the attacks, keeping me, myself, and my minions safe. Your defend beats their attack. You earn 120 points. Score now 120 to 0. Okay, now let's see what I can do. If his partner is very aggressive, I'd guess my opponent is more conservative and always tries to get the seasonal bonus, right? Wait, seasons? As the game progresses, we move through spring, summer, fall, and winter. There are point bonuses for each for different actions in different seasons. It's not much, but every point helps, and sometimes it makes opponents predictable if they crave those points. And the enemy in Grace's lane is very predictable. In spring, he likes to attack. In summer, he defends. Fall, he uses specials. And what season's good for your, what's that called, your ultimate? The ult's a bit different. Our team gets one ultimate per game. Grace or I can use it, but once we use it, it's gone. But when we do use it, we win, period. It trumps whatever your opponent was trying. And if we counter their ultimate with our own, well, that's practically a game over right there. Oh, so you have to choose when to use it. Right, and our opponents will be doing the same. I don't think they'll use their ultimate this early in the game, though. I'd say he's most likely to attack this turn, so Grace would be better off defending.
Underneath the hitbox, activate the cooldown, count the frames. Okay, I've got this.
Your defend beats their attack. You earn 140 points. Score now 260 to 0. You get the idea right now, right, Iris? Back and forth. Grace and I fight these other two flayers, deciding our overall strategy as the year progresses. I think I've got it. Wait, no, I don't got it. I mean, I got most of it, but how are the points determined? I noticed some actions score better than others. Well, there's the seasonal bonus, like a bonus to attacking in spring. But otherwise, your skill bonuses come into play. Skill bonuses depend on your personality. What strategy you excel at can change depending on who you are as a person. Shifts your focus, you know? Being a steady sort of person, I'm great in the late game at special moves. I know what items to buy and when to use them. So you're a steady-handed specialer, an empathetic frontline tank, a bold and brash PvP master, or a goofy jack-of-all-trades. All of which is kind of moot if you follow the rock-paper-scissors metagame. You don't score anything if you get counterplayed. Ah, true. Okay, I think I get it. Focus on your fight and let's see you win. Even if winning isn't everything, even if I need to be okay with losing, that doesn't mean I should try to lose. I'll give it all I have. Round 3 of 8, Summer. Team score 260. Opponent score 0. Socks versus Come At Me Bro. Fight! Alright, so we want to do attack, defend, special, or ultimate. Alright, so I rolled a 2, so that means I am going to defend again. So Come At Me Bro wants to come at me? Fine by me. I turtle up and defend against the attacks, keeping myself and my minions safe. Your defend beats their attack. You earn 140 points. Score now 400 to 0. Round 4 of 8, Summer. Team score, blah 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 blah. Okay, and let's see, what does Grace want to do? Okay, I rolled a 4, so we are going to use our ultimate.
I hope you've learned something this day. It'd be a pity to experience such a crushing loss without gaining knowledge.
You use your ultimate, you earn 130 points. Score now 530 to 0. Round 5 of 8, Fall. Team score 530, opponent score 0. Socks versus Come At Me Bro, fight. Alright, so I think alright, so we are going to attack this time. You both attack. It's a tie. You earn 50 points, they earn 40 points. Score now 580 to 40. Round 6 of 8, Fall. Alright, attack, defender, special. And she is going to attack too.
Whoa. You almost had me with that one. Nice work.
Your attack beats their special. You earn 110 points. 690 to 40. And now winter has come. Here's what we do. In winter, our best shot is to team up, combining our skill bonuses together. But they're going to be doing the same, so it may be harder to predict their moves. The endgame is critical. Pressure's on, but I know we can do it. Any tips? Knowing these randos, first move, well, anything goes. But Mr. By the Book tries to force special moves out on the very last turn, and they get reckless, less able to counterplay us. Now, let's close this out. Okay, so... we are going to attack. Before I can even react, my opponent snaps out their ultimate, a one-use trump card. Nothing I do can stand in the wake of that onslaught as I'm buffeted by attack after attack and beaten back. Your opponent uses their ultimate. Score now 690 to 170. And Grace is going to use the special. You both special. It's a tie.
You win.
Alright, so you defeated
Good
the
game,
randos.
everyone. I hope you all had fun.
Psst. Do you want to skip all FOD2 minigames in the future? This lets you decide whether you win or lose instead of having to actually play FOD2. It's up to you. You decide how you want to enjoy FOD2. Do you want to skip minigames or play them? I think in the interests of times, we're going to skip the minigames. Okay, thanks. On with the show. With our admittedly pretty pathetic enemies crushed, the rest of Team GCF cheers for our victory. Feels good. It still feels good to win. I know Iris warned me about the dopamine hit of victory I'd become hooked on, but... See, Iris, it's not that hard. I bet you could learn to play if you wanted. Oh, I'm okay with just helping Socks with their dream. I don't need to be a joystick jockey, too.
It's wonderful.
Still, I'm glad I could help expand your world a little. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe! Thanks, Grace. I know I was a bit pushy about wanting to play FOD2 earlier, and pushy about the Pro Tour. I'm still, sorting some feelings out about that one. Hey kid, I'm a computer. But I'm glad that I had a chance to play with you. Okay, who's up next? There's practically a Black Friday sale level of shoving to get to the front as I reach for those joysticks. For another hour, we partner up in various combos fighting against online players, swapping tips, having a laugh, getting salty, a little bit of everything. Ho! Ha-ha! Guard! Turn! Parry! Dodge! Spin! Ha! Thrust! That is a Daffy Duck reference. It is from Robin Hood Daffy. Settle down. Need help up here in my lane. On my way, my fair. Don't call me that. On my way, Jinx. We win some, we lose some. Oh, bull! I hate the RNG crit damage in this game. A one-hit gank? Hey, it happens. I'll hurl myself into certain death to buy time while you respawn. And as proof Iris may be onto something, losses don't feel quite as painful. Not this time. Not while fighting at their side. I wonder, do you think a Tomokaze aggro build could work? Buy some cheap items and storm them right out of the gate? Works well for Queen Bee of the Four Heavenly Kings. I've seen her one Tomokaze aggro all the time on streams. Oh hey, it's Queen Bee! She's practically mastered it. If you're interested, you could pick up a few things by watching her. The atmosphere is completely different from grinding the ladder in my darkened bedroom, all by myself. We share in wins and losses. I'd never been to an arcade before this day. Never really saw the point, not when I could play from home. Waste of money on travel and tokens. Too socially awkward. Not worth the hassle, right? But despite being an arcade newbie, a keyboard warrior, they've accepted me into their fold. And playing alongside them is, well, it's something else entirely. I could get used to this. I really could. Still, the hour's growing late, and I'm getting hungry again. Pizza twice in a single day only sounds fun. I wind up the curly spiral cord on my keyboard, ready to move out. Okay. It's been a blast, but I think I should be heading home. It's getting late. Nothing wrong with taking a break for self-care. It's important to get some rest so you can take in everything you've learned and bring it back tenfold next time. Don't burn out, pace yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Hope to see you tomorrow, though. We'll always welcome you back here, Socks. It's a promise. Dinner and sleep for me, definitely. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. A smile parts my lips as I offer them a wave and turn to leave, only to find my path to the exit blocked. 4 cocky-looking people stand, as if part of an ancient Roman flanks formation, giving the arcade a once-over. What's more, they're all wearing the trademark golden jerseys of Team P2W, the hottest Fist of Discomfort 2 team in the nation. I recognize them instantly. Who doesn't know the superstars of Team P2W, the team I originally wanted to join, that is, until this afternoon? The beefy one of the bunch, I think his handle is Blitz, looks around, clearly unimpressed with what he sees. Huh, nice broom closet. Where's the arcade? A woman at his side, yes, that's Divine, I recognize her from her streams, lets out a little snicker and stage whispers to him in response. I think this is the arcade, Blitz. It's charming, I suppose, quaint in a way, likely popular with the kiddies. A slightly unshaven teammate smirks while rolling his eyes. That'd be Coda, supposedly the brains of the team. Now, Divine, we're all here to have fun and play nice. Let's not be all rude and stuffed to the local yokels. But now, I ignore these 3, because there's one more who has my complete and undivided attention. Team, chill. We're here to say hello to Sox's new team, so play nice. They're a bit riled up because we just absolutely crushed it in an online tourney, so we wanted to come out and celebrate with you. You wanted to celebrate your win with me? Don't forget, we're also celebrating your acceptance onto this team too. Look at all of you, you're all so cute. How did you know where I was? I haven't even had the chance to tell you. Did you forget that Penji Pals Go automatically checks you in wherever you go? You really have to stop signing up for random websites without reading their TOS first. Normally you're happy to see your friend Bunny, but now your face is all scrunched up. What's the matter? I'm glad, really, but my eyes dart over to the rest of Bunny's team. They've all wandered off around the arcade, laughing and making rude gestures towards the small collection of games. Why'd you bring them? Oh, they're harmless. Bunny waves it off like it's nothing. Sure, they talk a big game, but they're pretty chill. And from all over the arcade, I can see the other team splitting up looking to hassle my new friends. Certainly plenty of hassle to go around. Oh. Okay, so maybe they're a little overexcited. Let me see if I can do anything about this. We can catch up later. Bunny smiles, looking me in the eyes before turning around and leaving me where I stand. Immediately, the tension in the arcade jacks up to a ridiculous degree. Clearly more than 3.6 Röntgens of an unstable nuclear situation. Not great, not terrible. Team P2W are quickly finding various ways to cause trouble, antagonizing my new friends, messing with the games. The easiest thing to do would be to avoid all this drama and stay on the sidelines, but that's not what friends do. Even if I'm a relatively new friend, less than a day old, I should step in and help where I can. Sox, let me help. How can a phone app help with playground bullies? I'm keeping my microphone input open and echolocating any trouble you may find around the place. Check out your map and pick a place to go. But I don't think you're going to be able to visit everyone before things boil over. Right, prioritize. Got it. What's happening right now? Okay, so we got 3 choices. Well, 4. And let's see, we're going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, and I rolled a 1, so I'm going to talk to Bunny first. Amidst all the surrounding chaos, I somehow managed to find Bunny, which is great because this is all their fault. Bunny, apparently enjoying, and I sit down as actively ignoring the pandemonium. I approach. What's the deal, Bunny? Like, seriously. Bunny looks at me pleadingly, their frown all too telling that they're not thrilled about the situation either. My hands are tied, Sox. I honestly didn't expect this. You know I wouldn't purposely put you or your friends in this position. So then do something about it. Make them stop. It's not as simple as that. Yes, it is. You just walk over there and you say, hey, dirtbags, stop being dirtbags, and they stop. I clap my hands together, a job done, which makes Bunny chuckle under their breath. I wish it were that easy, but there's 1 of me and 3 of them. Don't forget me, I got your back. Still, 2 against 3 is hardly a fair fight. Okay, so I get Loxley and then it's 3 on 3. Let's bust some ass. As much as I'd like to go all vigilante justice, that's my team. Reluctantly, Bunny lets the smile fade from their lips. I just can't. We train together, they teach me things, and already I've seen an improvement in my game. We live together, I can't risk causing a great divide in the house, not when everything else is fine. I'm sorry. What if it had been me? What if I was put into a house with people who are trash humans but nice to me? If it were me, I'd be standing up to them, but not everyone is in a position to stand up. So, I get it. I sigh, frustrated by the situation. This sucks. This really sucks. I know, honestly, I'm just doing what I can, which I know isn't much, but it's what I have to do to be a part of this team. I think about all the things I've learned about P2W recently, and about all the things I already knew. I guess as long as you're happy being with them. ... There's an uncomfortably long pause. Bunny looks out past me, past everything, crestfallen. I can tell Bunny is struggling with a response, which is completely abnormal for them. I would have expected some sort of sassy quip at this point. You are happy, right? Yes, I am. How could I not be? We're headed right to the top. We'll be in the championship before you can even blink, Socks. It's what I've always dreamed of. It's what we've always dreamed of. You remember our promise, right? A dust of pink covers Bunny's cheeks, and I can't help but feel my own cheeks mirror the sentiment. Of course, how could I forget? You're meeting me in the finals, no matter what. I thought it was just a silly notion, a joke among any others. I didn't realize Bunny had taken it this seriously. Good, because I won't lose to you. Me neither. Huh, I've seen your group, you're going to have to train real hard to take me out. As I'm formulating a really clever remark, I hear a crash in the distance. Bunny looks at me confused. That doesn't sound good. Not one bit. We'll finish this later. Bunny simply nods as I rush off. Okay, where am I going next? Okay, so from left to right, we've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm choosing 3. Over on the far side of the arcade, I spot Jinx loitering near her beloved Fast Cars 7 game, shifting from foot to foot, legs clearly getting tired quickly. As for why she isn't comfortably seated behind the wheel and blasting around corners at unsafe speeds, well... One of the Team P2W players is sitting in her seat, lazily cruising through the turns with one perfectly manicured hand on the wheel. In fact, when I walk up to chat with Jinx, the P2W'er is the one to actually greet me first. Sorry, no autographs right now. I'm totally killing it at this game. I was not planning on asking for one, no. Ah, great, I appreciate that, you know. So many of my adoring fans just won't give me any space or privacy. It's always, oh, I love your streams, Divine, or can I have a hug, Divine, or will you sign my leg, Divine? Ugh, people can be so gross. Nobody here wants their leg autographed. Look, I scheduled an online game with a friend coming up soon, so you want to wrap up your race so I can get a turn? Aw, sorry. Arcade rules, honey. Winner stays on, and I am winning.
Come on.
Only because I modded the game to have weak AI so I can focus on improving my time trials. And you're in my seat. Don't see your name on it, honey. Perfectly good seat right next to this one, too. See? Play on that one. You're the only one with hand controls. I literally can't use the other. Yeah, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. Not my fault you're defective. Uh-oh. Jinx's eyelid just started twitching and I think she's biting her lip hard enough to draw blood. Look, be a darling and fetch me some water or something, okay? I'll be here for some time. Jinx's grip on her walking crane tightens, to the point where I swear I can hear bones creak. But oddly, she backs down. Damn it. I drop to a whisper low enough not to be heard over the digital revs of a digital car engine. Can't you just kick her off? It's your game. You've got priority.
This sucks.
Want to, believe me, but that's not the way arcades work. Winner stays on, or others quarter up and wait. Besides, Ben and Matt own the game, not me. Okay, so get Ben and Matt to come over here and boot her off the thing. They're distracted. I look around for Ben and Matt, owners of this privately owned business establishment and resident authority figures. Who are way too busy dealing with a couple of washing machines spewing out rich, creamy soap all over the floor.
Well, I'd call this a mess, but
It's sort of the elemental opposite of messy. Maybe we could throw a foam party and call it a new selling point.
I see. I could beat her. I nearly jump when the wallflower makes his presence felt. I'll race against her. I don't need hand controls, I can use the second player seat. If I beat her, she can't stay on the game. Since when are you a racer?
This can't possibly end badly.
I am a survivor. I'm pretty sure keeping a ton of virtual metal from flying over the guardrail of a mountain pass is a lot like playing a shmup.
Not sure about that.
Dunno, it's a long shot. Or we could just convince her to bail? Don't ask me how. Other than breaking her legs, which is where I'd want to start personally. If we don't play it cool, we risk making the situation with all these P2W toadies more volatile than it already is. Not worth. My race against Naomi will just have to wait. She's pretty busy, but I can reschedule for later. It's the adult thing to do. Don't selfishly boot a player off your favorite game, just adapt your own plans and move on. But whoever said I was an adult? I want to support Team GCF, my new friends. How do we make this happen? Alright, option 5. Screw this, I'll just unplug the game. Why dance around this? It's more or less our arcade. We run this show, and we don't need to avoid bruising any P2W egos. So I yank the plug. Instantly, the screen of Flash Cars 7 blinks off, all the flashing lights and attractive glowing bits of the cabinet going dark along with it. What the? Okay, so option 2. Jinx tried being polite and you spat in her face, and I'm a believer in only offering as much politeness as I'm offered in turn. From the sidelines, Jinx offers me the briefest of nods of approval, barely a minor head tilt, like some aloof kung fu master offering rare praise to a disciple. Actions have consequences. You treat us with disrespect, we disrespect you. Game's over, beat it. Divine grumbles in disagreement. What an unbelievably petty individual. Honestly, about what I expected out of some rinky-dink laundromat arcade. Low-class players with low-class attitudes. Fine. You want to play this game so badly? Go ahead. I've far more important uses of my time than dealing with the likes of you. In a huff, Divine grabs her things and storms off.
Not bad at all.
Might be hell to pay later for directly antagonizing her, but whatever. Excuse me, got an online race to attend.
That's curious.
Remind me never to get into a messy divorce with you. You'd probably chop everything we own in half with a katana. Why is that? You're a real Cleave the Gordian knot sort of person, aren't you? Okay, so option 2. I don't mind putting myself on the line like that. I wasn't going to let Divine stop me from helping my friends. It's curious, because we've been friends for, what, a few hours? And yet you're saying you'd go to the end of the line for us? Absolutely, I value sincerity. You know what? I believe you.
Thanks.
Glad you're on our side, Ben. Thanks for the assist. Right, crisis over. I'm going back to lurking just outside the mayhem, if you don't mind. Be seeing you. Messier than I'd hoped, but things worked out all the same. Hopefully my next encounter will be a tad cleaner. Okay, where am I going next? Okay, so 1, 2, 3 is the pizzeria with Grace and Loxley, and 4, 5, 6 is the laundromat with Rhapsody and Zapper, and I rolled a 5, so we will say hello to Rhapsody and Zapper. Off to one side in the laundry zone, away from Ben and Matt's bubble bonanza, I spot a small gathering, Rhapsody and Zapper, as well as Coda from Team P2W. Weren't you a member of P2W for like a very short time? I guess you only stayed up on the metagame when you actually had a good team. Everyone knows Tomokaze is headed for Nerf City. It's patently obvious. She's way too flexible, which makes her too powerful. Nearly every major FFOD team runs at least one, if not several, Tomokaze specialists, making the meta so predictable it hurts. Once they nerf her, she'll be as good as gone from the game.
It's a viable tactic.
There's always going to be a place for a middle-of-the-road character like Tomokaze. She's a solid pick. Individually, she's not that powerful, but paired is where her true power shines. She's easy for new players to pick up and play.
I just don't see
So
that
no,
working out.
I don't see they will change her dramatically anytime soon. Who cares about noobs? FOD2 needs to retain the core player base and satisfy the demands of the players. The competitive scene can't grow with such an obviously main pick at the heart of the metagame. Tomokaze has to go. You're a fool for not seeing that. A flunked out fool. What's wrong exactly? Oh, thank RNGesus, it sucks. Talk some sense into these two, okay?
This sucks.
All this metagame yammering is boring. Boring and pointless. It's like a comment section brought to life. Who cares what characters are in and out of the game? Who gets buffed or nerfed? Who cares what the future may bring? Just play the dang game we've actually got and have fun with it. Fun? I'm in play to win, not in an elementary school computer club. You can't win without a plan, and Tomokaze wrecks every plan we have. She's literally easy mode.
Nah.
You can't just remove Tomokaze. Think of how that will impact the game. All we'll have are characters that are too difficult to learn, which will drive new players away. And new players grow the competitive scene, not character removal. Whatever, fool.
What?
Ugh, all this theory crafting is making my brain leak out of my ears. All I hear is slosh, slosh, slosh. Ah, so it's a debate about FOD2 nerd stuff. Still, if I can step in and close this down, that's one less flashpoint of conflict going down in our arcade. Okay, so I rolled a 2, so we're going to go with option 1. Listen, we've all been there, our first FOD character, and for 99% of us, it's Tomokaze. Rhapsody's right on this one. Not real hardcore players like me. I started off with Akari, never even touched Tomokaze, no need.
You've gotta be kidding.
Did you forget? Tomokaze is literally the character who you use in the tutorial. She's the one who teaches you to play. You think I played the tutorial? No. And all that proves is Scrubs use Tomokaze, and like I've said, who needs them? I don't. The community doesn't. Ban Tomokaze, you get less scrubs. Less scrubs. Less scrubs. Fewer scrubs. Zapper rests her forehead in the palm of her hand while Rhapsody rolls their eyes. Coda, will you just shut up for a second and listen? I'll tell you exactly why Tomokaze will stay as is in FOD2. Which quiets him. Coda sneers in response, his expression begging for an answer. Okay, so I rolled a 1. Tomokaze helps bring in fresh faces and fresh skills to keep the game alive. If you don't have characters who entice that new talent, the community goes stale. And a dead community means a dead game. And when a game dies, so do we. None of us want that. Remember Immortal Warriors? No? Should I? Exactly. Most people don't recognize it. Came and went in less than a year due to it being way too difficult to play. Noobs and hardcore alike were put off of it. It's so obvious even you can see the parallel. This is utter ridiculousness. You're all dense as bricks, and I'm done trying to argue with people hanging on to their silly preconceived notions. Translating for Coda speak, you have spoken well and provided a very valid point. I shall shut up now. When your baby ideas grow up and you want to chat about real adult things, then maybe I'll talk to you. Is it over? Already? Are we done nerding out? Geez. Well, on the plus side, at least we've got 2 powerful nerds on the team. I guess we need a few of those to make it on the Pro Tour.
Later.
I'm out. Later, you two.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate the backup there. It's always nice to have another person on your side who gets the game on such an intellectual level. You might have just prevented an all-out real-life flame war. Okay, I rolled a 1, so option 1. He's posted some terrible stuff online, harasses people if they don't agree with them, trolls everyone with hurtful memes. So, we let his own actions and his public words lead to his downfall. We have to be above it, even if keeping a professional face is tiring. Yeah, regardless, shutting down Coda feels like a W. I can't lie, watching him turn tail and run, it does feel nice. The sweet nectar of revenge? Something like that, but let's leave that moment in the past and look forward to the future. That's right, I should make sure the rest of the place is still intact.
Catch you later.
See ya, Socks. It's getting late. How long are we going to have to deal with Team P2W squatting in our clubhouse anyway? Fortunately, things stay quiet for a few minutes. I needed time for a breather anyway. I can't believe this is the team I wanted to join this morning. Made sense, P2W are the top of the esports mountain. But wow, are they awful people. Beep beep, Socks. I'm detecting a buildup of social tension. Please follow the indicator on your map. Oh great, now what? Over in the arcade around the FOD2 machine itself, P2W squares off against GCF, both sides finally having enough of this mess. Don't even know why we came to this pathetic little arcade in the first place. Just a prissy little celebutante loser who thinks her follower count is a metric of awesomeness. Bunch of little fragile snowflakes can't even take a
Seriously?
complete waste of time acting all high and mighty when you're... Simply don't understand how the game is meant to be played, and with that attitude, you never will. Was just trying to explain how I felt. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to...
Hell no.
Leave Grace alone, you ing loser! Is this all really necessary? Can we just drop it? This is getting ridiculous, but I know how to solve it, or at least refocus all this aggression into something else. Okay, I rolled a 2, and we get option 1. People! This isn't helping anything. Look, we all love Fist of Discomfort too, right? So let's focus our energies there. We'll have a friendly match, and then everybody goes home. Okay? Enough fighting IRL. We compete honestly as gamers, and then we agree to go our separate ways. Fine. I'm done dealing with this crap hole arcade anyway. One match for bragging rights, and we're done here. Bunny steps forward from the rest of P2W, welcoming the competition. Coda will join me against you and one of your teammates. Fair? We'll see which team rules and which team rules once and for all. I wasn't planning on raising the emotional stakes of this fight, but that old urge to win, to prove myself, it's rising. A win over Team P2W would do a lot for morale. It'd do a lot for our image. It could be the springboard we need into our future. Agreed. Let's do this. I ignore Coda's snickering guffaws as I pull my keyboard out again, jamming the USB plug into the game. I have to stay focused. Bunny confidently steps up to the built-in joystick, while Coda digs out a portable biofeedback USB joystick, plugging the fancy glowing blue controller in. All three of us are ready to go, but we need a fourth, a partner I can rely on. 2 versus 2, that's the rule of FOD2. Who do I want to call upon for this decisive fight? Okay, we got option 4, so we are going for Domino. Interested in kicking ass with me, Domino? Not sure what putting the boots to a donkey has to do with this, but sure, let's hurl ourselves into the fray. The 4 of us step up to FOD2, ready to kick some ass. And that's when I realized my folly. Bunny knows all my moves. I know all of their moves, too, but this is basically a coin toss. And nobody likes 50-50 odds when they can do better. If I start out in the same lane as Bunny, leaving Domino to tangle with Coda, this could go badly. So, I switched positions, whispering to Domino as the game loads and the match begins. Psst, you take on Bunny. They like to use specials early and attacks in the late game. And Coda focuses almost entirely on defense, so I'll try to counterplay that with specials. Got it? A brief nod of understanding from Domino, and Team P2W versus Team GCF begins. Win or lose, I need to give it my all. Even if I really, really want to win this, I have to focus on the fight and the fight alone, for the sake of my dreams. Okay, so it looks like we have the options to skip the minigame and win the match, skip the minigame and lose the match, or play the minigame. So I'm gonna vote on whether we win or lose. I'll roll the dice for that. A 1 or 2 will be the win, and a 3 and 4 will be a lose. And we've lost. We rolled a 4. We lost. That's to be expected, honestly. Knowing Bunny inside and out and going up against the best team in the nation, why did I expect anything less? Some days you get the radioactive mutant space bear, and some days the radioactive mutant space bear gets you. But in the end, it's always the bear. GG, I suppose. I have to be okay with this. I have to. I can't see this as a personal failing, as proof I'm just some pathetic loser. I have to be okay with this. Thankfully, Bunny is being very supportive of it all. I'll admit, I didn't know which way that was going to pan out. It was a close one for sure. You'll have to show me some of those moves next time. So you can use them against me next time. Of course, you'd do the same to me. Isn't that what rivals are for? But don't be too down on yourself. Maybe you'll even win next time. Maybe I'll win next time, mark my words. Next time? Ha! Like there's gonna be a next time. Only reason we came down to Scrubville McNoobtown to deal with you pathetic losers is because Bunny insisted. I'll never darken your doorstep again. But Bunny is peering over my shoulder at something Coda can't quite see from that angle. Now's not the time, Coda. You know what you are? You're pathetic. All you sad little filthy casuals aren't fit to lick the gum off the bottom of my sneakers. I'm play to win. I'm the top of the heap. I eat caviar for breakfast and scoop millions off energy drink sponsorships. Those feckless idiot fans out there lap up my every word. I can define the metagame with a single post to face wall. I am Fist of Discomfort too, not you. Coda! You know what? You want a rematch? Do it. Kneel down, beg, and grovel for one. Maybe I'll grant you the honor. Well, what are you waiting for? Do it, loser. And the one quietly recording it all taps a button on his phone to complete the upload. Oh. You get all that, Loxley? I believe that will suffice. Title. How about entitled P2W Crybaby Choose Out Underdog Team? Yes, I think I'll use that title. What? Oh look, 20 upvotes. No, wait, 50, 100. My, oh my, the internet does love bad behavior. Calling all the fans of Team P2W feckless idiots was a particularly nice touch, I felt. There is an utter quietness of disbelief and rage while Coda just stands there, jaw sagging. Bunny rests their forehead in their hand and the rest of the team whisper to themselves. I can't waste this opportunity to deliver the final blow. Okay. Alright, we rolled a 3. You're in a public place. There's no expectation of privacy here, Coda, and public actions have public consequences. From the looks of it, that's a lesson you've needed to learn for a long time. Loxley literally bows out with a gracious dip, leaving Coda twisting in the wind and Bunny trying to hide their face in annoyed disappointment. But there's one individual far more disappointed than Bunny. The coach for Team P2W, Victoria Proud, formerly the esports star player Valkyrie. I'd seen her come in with a team, but she hadn't talked to anyone since arriving, quiet like death, only waiting and watching. Now she glowers at Coda and Bunny, extremely unhappy with the results, her frown causing Coda to shift nervously. Coach, I just meant that... She holds up a finger to her lips, silencing him. Then, in a turn of eeny, meeny, miny, mo between her two players, her finger eventually lingers on Coda.
Coda, you're fired.
Oh! What? But this whole mess is thanks to Bunny! They wanted to come here in the first place! Her eyes narrow at Coda's complaints, which stops him mid-sentence.
Stop passing the blame. Not only do you look childish, but you've made the whole team look bad. And I won't stand for that.
She sighs grudgingly whilst crossing her arms. She's by no means thrilled.
Not only are you fired, your non-compete clause means you're not joining any other teams. Not that they would have you, especially not after I tell them you're blacklisted. Be happy I'm not doing anything else.
Coda stands there in total disbelief as the other members of his team edge away from him, as if he's suddenly caught a very communicable and very nasty disease. Defeated, Coda slinks away to a corner of the arcade. With Coda out of the picture, the coach redirects her attention to... me? I gulp and hopefully not too audibly.
As for you, enjoy this moment in the spotlight, earned thanks to Coda's immaturity. But don't think this is a victory. You're an impressive challenger, no doubt, but take my advice and be content with what you have.
She twirls her finger in the air and the rest of Team P2W follow her out, even Coda, who's trailing at a safe distance. We lost, and yet we won. Simply by being who we are, by working together and avoiding becoming the kind of monsters that occupy the top of the esports ladder. There's a simple strength to be found in that truth, one which could be the start of something great. Maybe Iris is right. Maybe through Team GCF I can find victory and be at peace with myself. In that moment, I also see all of their eyes on me, hope restored and a newly found yearning in their gaze. Maybe if I'm true to myself, to who I am as a person, well, maybe I could reach them. If I could just convince Team GCF of that. Beep beep, this is an intense identity situation. You can only pick a response that matches your top 2 personality traits. And right now, our top 2 personality traits are basic. Oh, and it looks like it's a tie between kind and steady. Alright, so 1, 2, 3 is option 1. 4, 5, 6 is option 2. And we rolled a 1, so... Wow. I mean, just wow. And then I'm the newbie around here, but even in the few hours I've been part of your inner circle, I have to say I'm amazed. You support each other. You care for each other. You pulled together when P2W started stomping around your home. I can sense a lot of strength, a lot of love here. And that's a power that can take you anywhere you want to go. I know you said you're not all that interested in the FFOD2 Pro Tour, but I think if you can pull together as one like you have today, you could do it. We could do it. We could try at least. Win or lose, we owe it to ourselves to try, if only to see how far we can get. So, what do you say, friends? I'm not really a competitive sort of person, but when you put it that way, you're right. We're stronger together than apart, and we could really make a go for it. I'm willing to today. Where Grace leads, I shall follow, to the very gates of hell if need be. I'd prefer to stop about 10 feet short of the gates of hell, but you know what? I'm down. I'm ready to support you all for what good that'll do. I'm not one for the Care Bear Hug Festival, but you know I'm ready for the Pro Tour, always have been. This interaction has certainly renewed my spirit, reminding me what it's really like to play. Who knows what we could accomplish as a team? If Grace says so, then fine, okay. It's happening. My dream. My dreams of victory. I found a team willing to go all the way. I've done it. Iris was right. This is where I need to be. Hold it. One thing to make absolutely clear. You want to whip this team into something resembling a competitive professional esports crew? Yes, that's what I said. Okay. Then you are the one responsible for making that happen. You're our new manager. What? Never had one, never needed one. Not until now.
Sound good here?
You want us to take this seriously? We'll need someone who can network, shake hands, make deals, sign paperwork, make travel arrangements, find sponsors. And since you're so gung-ho about this, that means it's you.
Of course.
Yes, of course, it makes sense. I'm sure you'd do a great job as team manager. Maybe you could even find a better name for us than Team GCF.
This can't possibly end badly.
Oh, goody! We have a professional cat herder now. Have fun trying to keep this merry bunch on task, Socks. I'd sooner eat glass than take on that job. But I say we don't give Socks absolute authority. You see how that creep who runs P2W just up and fired Coda? None of that. You don't get to access or hire anyone new.
As you wish.
Now, I'm sure we can turn to Socks for leadership without them becoming a tyrant. After all, Sic Semper Tyrannis, yes? I think that was a threat. Yes, that was a threat.
Sounds good to me.
Just a word of advice from someone who's been inside and alongside of esports for years. It's a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work with barely any thanks or praise. And if anyone has a whisper of negativity, you get the full brunt of it. But overall, you'll do great. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do. 3 cheers for Manager Socks. Cheer, cheer, cheer. I'm getting excited about this. A Pro Tour run? Can we really do it? Wow. With someone else doing all the paperwork and heavy business lifting, I'm perfectly okay with this.
Tally-ho!
Friends, to the pizza for only the finest and celebratory deep dish pies. Everyone storms Ben and Matt's pizzeria, intent on scarfing down pepperoni and mozzarella by the pound. And I do not. Instead, I step out into the cool, if not entirely refreshing, air outside the building. The sun's gone down and the neon metropolis welcomes me with open arms. Beep beep, Socks? Yeah, Iris, what's up? My GPS indicates you've left the laundromat. Shouldn't you be celebrating with your new friends? This is what you wanted, yes? A team willing to try for the victory you've been dreaming of? A team who can help you understand your motivations behind that dream as well? It's a perfect match. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I asked you for. That's what I got. It's just, how do I put this? Alright, I rolled a 3. This is a lot to put on my head, you know, but even aside from that, I want to do right by them. I don't want to mess this up. They're putting so much faith in me and I could be a terrible, terrible manager. What if I ruin everything? Nobody's expecting you to be perfect, Socks. Not even then, but they need this. Socks, there's another reason why I led you here, led you to them. They need someone who can unify them, give them a common cause. Without that, I'm afraid they might grow distance and lose their friendships. The purpose of an iris originally was simply to obey commands and provide the best possible service. Just an app, really. But now, I've chosen my own purpose, and that's to be truly helpful, to help those in need and bolster the human spirit. You need them and they need you. Sure, you'll make mistakes and they'll make mistakes, but that's normal, that's human, and it's beautiful. Also, someone's approaching, so I hope you're ready to begin down this road. Huh? Iris winks out with a little wink as I look up to see someone rounding the corner into the alley.
Oh, hello.
Socks, why are you out here? Did we scare you off? I know my frighteningly excellent expertise at FOD2 can be intimidating. No, it's not you, or the rest of the team, but I am kinda spooked by all this, being a manager, having all this responsibility. What if I'm not ready? I get it. It's a lot to take on what we've hoisted upon you, but honestly, it's what they need. It's what we need. I've been looking after this team for a while, and I've never seen them react the way they did when you were with them. They all came together in celebration, myself included. It's been so long since I felt that excitement, the heart palpitations, the want to go in 100%, the craving to win and dominate. And with you taking charge of everything, I was able to push my hesitations aside. Rhapsody takes a long breath in, reflecting on their own words. And I can't help but also reflect that both Iris and Rhapsody told me this team needs me. I promise, you're in the right place. An alley? How is an alley the right place for me to be in? Was this all part of your death trap? No, silly, an arcade. Not just any arcade, this arcade. It's so much more than a simple place to play games or do laundry or eat pizza. It's the heart that makes us all beat. I came here when I was at my worst. I had given up. But with this place and these friends, it changed everything. Good, clean fun brought all of us here for one reason or another, just like it brought you here. I know you'll find what you were looking for, too. You still have doubts as anyone would, but manager is just a fancy title bestowed upon someone whom everyone looks up to. It might feel like the burden is only yours to bear, but you won't be alone. Not with all of us by your side.
Listen, we got this.
We're a team and we're all in this together. I'll make sure we're all helping you in what ways you can. Rhapsody's right. Okay, I rolled a 3, so it is option 2. Being the leader, forming a schedule for practices, pumping up everyone's spirit is all the easy stuff about being manager. But ask me to pick out anything in regards to our hashtag aesthetic, and I will for sure need input. As someone who prides themselves on having great fashion, I'll be more than happy to give you my 2 cents. And you can always ask me for advice too, you know. I've got some experience with this group, and I know they can be tricky sometimes. Speaking of them, your new team wants to celebrate with you, so we should go back and do just that. And I told everyone to send out a search party if I wasn't back in 15 minutes, so we better go in before we end up on the side of milk cartons marked as missing. Let's not keep them waiting then. As I walk back inside Good Clean Fun, I see my team, my new friends rejoicing, the happiness on their faces, celebrating our victory, which reminds me about my own dreams of victory. I still want to win. I still want to become the champion of FOD2. But now, there's something more. The shared dreams of everyone at Good Clean Fun. Dreams of people like Rhapsody. I'm responsible for all their dreams now. All our dreams. But you know what? That's okay. This is our time. And we're going to find what we need in life together. My name is Sydney Moore, also known as Socks, and I'm ready for what may come. Level complete! You've cleared level 1 of Arcade Spirits, the new challengers. Victory! And look, you won a prize. You'll get 1 prize for every level you clear. Be sure to check the prize gallery for unlocked concept art and more. Now let's take a look at your scores. Rhapsody's inspired by you. You're proving to be a gentle, sweet, and compassionate soul. Also, you've scored 10,100 points. Nice! Keep talking with people and your score will go up, up, up. Would you like to change your personal metadata at this time? Name, pronoun, appearance, and so on. I can do this between every level from now on. We're gonna keep it the same. Do you want to save your game before proceeding to level 2? Level 2, Combo Breaker. News update with Punchy78.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Punchy78 here with Fight Shack News. All the fighting that's fit to post. Big happenings in the scene today as P2W endures humiliation at the hands of a small team from a local laundromat. While this plucky team of underdogs didn't defeat the reigning champs, Team P2W came off looking like complete jackasses. Rumors had been swirling of P2W being a haven for toxic
Oh yeah, I see what
attitudes,
you mentioned,
and
him
those
having
rumors were
the
confirmed in a
cool
video
S.
posted this week.
I saw somebody on Twitter, apparently in France they call it le S américain.
Will this little incident become the start of something bigger? Who knows? Personally, I can't wait to see what this new team can do. For more on this developing story, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and rate Fight Shack 5 stars. This is only the beginning, folks.
I don't know, it's like one thing that you draw when you're a kid. It is the distant future year 20XTX, and I'm no longer an aspiring game champion. I'm an aspiring game champion and a team manager. That's one more set of shoes than I'd originally intended to fill, if we're being honest. I would have been perfectly content to blend in with an existing team as just another player, but if this is what it takes, so be it. The good news is that I'm not flying solo as supreme overlord of this team. Everybody has opinions to contribute. The bad news is everybody has opinions, and I'm quickly discovering that balancing those out is getting tricky. This morning my job is simple. Completely redesign the team's profile on discomfort.fist and select a sponsor for our Pro Tour ambitions. All while keeping as many of my teammates as happy as possible. Simple, right? Okay, let's get to work.
Iris, online.
Hello, Mix Manager. I also figured out how to run a virtualization of the Iris app on my home computer. PC geeks get things done. Represent. Just call me Socks, Iris. Okay, hello, Socks. I finished compiling all input regarding your team profile and sponsorship opportunities, cross-referencing it with your friends and their own requests. Shall we start with the profile? Every good team needs a good team name. I don't know, Good Clean Fun could work nicely for that. True, but Team GCF was always a working title, and your friends have sent me ideas for better names and acronyms. But these are only suggestions. If you want, you can make up a name and acronym yourself. Okay, let's see them. Alright, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then none of these write your own team names. So I think I would like to roll for this. And we've got option 3, so it is Grace's idea. Future forward, I like it. We're always looking forward towards our bright future. Good work. Okay, your team name and acronym are now registered with discomfort.fist. I've also emailed everyone to let them know of the change. Next, it's time to pick a sponsor. I was able to leverage the incident with Team Play to Win and find a number of sponsors willing to give you a chance. They're going to expect wins in the future, but for now you're notorious, which is just as good. I've organized dossiers for you, including the sponsor's original pitch and any comments from your friends about the offer. Wow, thanks, Cyrus. Here I was thinking that being a manager would be, difficult and stuff. I was originally made to be a virtual assistant to high-powered business executives. This sort of thing is child's play to me. Now, let's take a look at the offers. You have 3 of them to consider. Good day, Mixmore. I represent Crimson Tiger Energy Drink, the premier beverage of choice for the 13 to 25-year-old gamer demographic. We're always on the lookout for promising young teams, and yours shows a great deal of promise. We'd like to sponsor your entry in the Frog Tour. You'll find our team salary package more than generous, allowing you to focus entirely on team training and practice without day jobs to worry about. In return, we'd like to see you wear our red branding colors and be steam drinking our product. A simple request, we feel. With over 20 years of experience in this field, I assure you that you'll find no finer a partner than Crimson Tiger.
Don't know about that.
Hey, Iris forwarded me the CT offer. I guess they're a proven brand, but do we want to be sponsored by the guys who sponsor everyone already? Plus, their energy drink tastes like warm battery acid. No way in hell am I slurping that stuff down.
You've gotta be kidding.
I've never been a fan of the blatant machismo and in-your-face attitude of Crimson Tiger, especially not when that's still a huge problem in this scene. Also, have you seen their clothing design? It's better suited for a gaming chair than an actual human body. I refuse to wear anything that obnoxious. So they can offer us all the money we need to make this happen, but I need to wear their colors, chug energy drinks, and annoy Domino and Rhapsody. Doing business means accepting trade-offs, Socks. Maybe the next two offers will be more to your liking. Hey, Socks, glad to see you showing up Team P2W. We need fresh blood in the scene to keep it from stagnating, and you are fresh. Blade Joysticks, makers of professional-grade fighting game joysticks, wants to sponsor your team all the way to the top. Our team salaries can't compete with the top draws, I'll admit that, but you will get all the free hardware and controllers you'll ever need. Sign with us, and we'll make sure you're all kitted out. Sound good? Let me know.
I don't think that's a good idea.
They mean well, but the reason Blade can't offer a lot of money is because they're probably going out of business in a few years. Blade controllers are the Player 2 sticks you let your cousin use because you don't want them wrecking your good joystick. Oh, so basically they're Mad Cats then.
Not down for that.
Plus, I literally can't use their joysticks. They're too stiff, it hurts my wrists. If you want to trade your keyboard for a Blade, feel free, but personally, I won't be using their gear. Sorry. Piles and piles of free gear would save us some money, but if Grace and Jinx both don't like Blade, and I can't say I like the idea of ditching good old Beiji the 101 keyboard for a joystick just to keep them happy. You could have everyone else on the team use Blades if you want to keep your competitive keyboard edge. There are options. Also, there's one more candidate to consider, and if I lend my own biased view, I think they're exactly what we need. Good to talk to you, Sydney. We here in the Pizza Yums family have been following your story closely. Everybody loves an underdog. We'd love to sponsor you. We've got experience helping people build their brand and can really get you to the next level. We can't offer as much money as a more esports-focused company, but we also don't have any demands in return. We just want to help you soar. It would help if you were a bit more family-friendly, though. Let's talk. Just drop me a line, and we'll arrange to pay entrance fees to tournaments for you if nothing else.
No fucking way.
Family-friendly? Seriously? That. I make no apologies for who I am or what I want to say. Plus, pizza bagels take like school glue on cardboard. Hey, that's mean.
I must protest.
Pizza Yums is run by capitalist thugs who contribute to both the nation's obesity epidemic and our food waste crisis. In addition, they've sponsored many an event at Deco's Palace. The Palace, the pinnacle of an anti-arcade. I say nay. Dang it. So no matter who I pick, I upset someone? Seriously? It seems that way. Sorry, Socks. But these are the tough decisions you need to make when you're in a position of leadership. They'll accept your decision no matter what, but you may lose standing with two of them depending on what you decide. I guess crowdfunding isn't an option? Not for the amount of money we'll need for the travel and tournament expenses. Even the cheapest of the offers will get us more than a GoFundMe would. Right, decision time then. Okay, so 1 and 2 is going to be Crimson Tiger, 3 and 4 is going to be Blade Joysticks, and 5 and 6 is going to be Pizza Yums. Okay, we are going to go for Blade Joysticks. Free gaming gear is going to come in handy, and the money's good. Jinx, I'll negotiate so you and I don't have to use their products. Not thrilled, but I can live with that as long as I get to keep using my biofeedback stick instead. That's fine, Jinx. I don't really like their controllers, but I guess I'll take one for the team. I don't want to deny you your controller or Socks their keyboard.
Sounds good.
And that's all the managerial decisions you need to make today. I let out a long exhale, leaning back in my chair. This is more stressful than I thought it would be. But you're doing so well, and you'll only get better at it in time. With me in your pocket, figuratively and literally, there's no way you can lose. I mean, you can still lose your FOD2 matches, but still. I have a lot of functionality you haven't even tapped yet, you know? If you want me to, I can get you leverage to negotiate for more from your sponsor. Leverage as in, blackmail? You'd be surprised how many embarrassing details are perfectly public if you know how to search for them. What do you say? Okay, 1 and 2, 3 is going to be the first option. 4, 5, 6 is going to be the second option. And we rolled a 6. Not going to lie, if we can squeeze more money out of our sponsor, preferably quietly and without any backlash, it may be worth considering. Yes, exactly. And you can count on me to take care of it quietly. I'm a digital scalpel, not a digital broadsword. I'm not saying let's go ahead and blackmail people, but theoretically, what sort of information could you find? Just about anything. What would you want me to look for in general? Okay, so we are going to go for option 3. I'm thinking the less I know about this little adventure, the better. If I ask you to blackmail someone, just, take care of it, without giving me the details. Plausible deniability, right? Right. Exactly, I can take care of it quietly for you, just say the word. Now, you should go freshen up. Team practice starts soon, and you still need to catch the subway over to good, clean fun. Onward, Mix Manager. Socks. Onward, Mix Socks! At least that's over with. All I need to do now is go down to the arcade and kick some virtual ass. I know I can do that, at least. No more wrangling strong personalities, no more settling conflicts. Just doing what I was born to do, play games. Right? Right. Except, well... matchmaking is taking forever. It has literally been 2 minutes, Sapper. Yeah, I know, forever. How are we supposed to get practice matches in if the servers can't find anybody at our skill level? It's gotta be your ELO dragging us down or something. Or yours dragging us up. High-rank pros aren't always playing this early in the day, you know. Having only a single FOD2 machine in the entire arcade, plus a slow day for online matchmaking, means practice is moving at a snail's pace. On the plus side, while Dom and Zap are busy getting their rounds in, I'm free to wander around and chat with people. Probably for the best. I haven't spent much time getting to know them yet. I should take advantage of this quiet moment. I doubt I can visit everyone before it's my turn at bat, but I can squeeze some socializing in. Whom do I want to chat with? Okay, so... Alright, so we're gonna roll 1d4, and it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like we are going to go get some lunch from Ben and Matt. Food sounds like a good idea. I might be tangled up in practice sessions all afternoon, so a heavy slice of za would be advisable.
Good day. A fine day indeed. Your first day as a manager. How exciting. What can we...
Please, just socks. And I'll keep it simple today, just a cheese lover's pizza.
Can't be too cheesy, I always say, even if my bowels occasionally say otherwise.
One piping slice of the good stuff slides over to me. I open the box to nosh on it, too eager to go find a table first.
Wow, you're full of pep today. I would have thought your first shot at managerial duties would grind you down into a tiny, quivering wad of stressed-out jelly.
Please don't remind me. I'm trying to avoid liquefying myself. When I was here yesterday, I didn't realize that becoming our team's manager was one step on my dream ladder.
Sometimes the ladder to our dreams has missing steps. In that case, it can be difficult to climb by yourself.
Ben's right. No need to burden just yourself, especially when there are people around you who've had some experience at making dreams happen.
Who?
Us. Matt's talking about us.
Indeed. We'd be happy to impart our learned wisdom upon the younger generation. Want some pointers?
Okay. Alright, so... Right, we rolled a 1, so how do I blow off stress? Primal scream therapy? Drum circle? I'm thinking I need stress management techniques. What do you think? Yoga? Healing crystals? Hunt people for sport?
What about?
No. What about?
Extensive bubble baths. Aromatherapy candles. Soap and wax, got it. But seriously, find one thing that makes you happy, something that you can do anywhere, anytime without anyone else. Do that. Find a quiet place and listen to music. repeat a mantra, watch cat videos, things like that. The important thing is to recharge your batteries with a simple and calming ritual of your own choosing. Is there a game you like to play on your phone? A little puzzle game, perhaps? An anywhere, anytime pick-me-up? Yeah, that could work. I do love me some Tetris.
Good.
Good, that'll do nicely. As successful business owners, we know the importance of not losing your marbles under the weight of adult responsibility. Responsibilities on top of, playing FOD2. This is still a heck of a lot for me.
Indubitably.
Undoubtedly.
You can do the thing. We believe in you. But you barely know me. We're excellent judges of character. Say, you know who Socks reminds me of? A young Ari Kater? Indeed, that same spark of destiny, I'd say. Really going places. Who? Oh, this was a few years back. You wouldn't know them. We cheered them on as they created the arcade of their dreams. What a grand adventure that was. Lovely dreams, simply lovely. No doubt similar to your own dreams in a way.
You never know quite where life will take you. Something Matt and I have experienced firsthand.
Indeed. We started out running a donut shop and bookstore.
You ran both a donut shop and a bookstore? How'd you manage to run two businesses at once?
By running one business. We sold books and donuts under one roof.
The whole story. Such halcyon days of literature and sugar.
Sadly, shifting demographics and the opening of a high-end cafe named La Biblio the Queue du Croissant signaled the end of that venture.
Another sad tale of local business crushed by Big Donut and Big Book.
Not that we let it bring us down. No, we moved right along to our next idea. Pizza, laundry, and video games.
I'm sorry, this was your go-to idea?
Absolutely.
Positively.
My point is, you may never know where you'll end up, but the journey to get there will certainly be interesting. You weren't expecting to manage an esports team, but look, you're managing an esports team. Isn't that something?
Wear the mark of chaos with pride. Surf the wave, ride the snake.
That means something entirely different, Matt.
Oh.
Ben contemplates his next words as their back-and-forth stream of consciousness finally pauses for a brief moment. I mean, be honest, where did you actually see yourself in 10 years' time? Okay, option 3. As ultimate grand champion, absolute victor of everything that exists? I mean, that's honestly what I saw for myself, being a mega winner until the end of time. I know that's unrealistic. I've got things I'm working through, but that's the truth of it. I'm glad you found future forward. Then, together, you'll work through all the everythings. A finer gathering of folk you'll not find, indeed. And if you need any further guidance, you know where to find us, right here, during working hours. Now then, next order, please! And that's when I noticed the very long line forming behind me of people waiting for Ben and Matt to get on with it. I mumble an apology, then scamper off to devour my pizza. I'm not sure Ben and Matt work as the obligatory substitute father figures in the grand narrative of my new life, but at the very least they make for cool uncles. Yeah, Time Sage, that's what I wondered too, because if we did load the game and we ended up going for them having opened a restaurant barcade at the arcade, we might have Hamza. Domino and Zapper are still playing, so it's off to see someone else. Who's next? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. We are going to do. It's going to be either Rhapsody, Jinx and Grace, or Loxley. All right, so we rolled a 3, so we're going to see Jinx and Grace. With good clean fun being a trifecta of greasy food, clean clothes, and hot arcade action, it's not too surprising to see my arcade friends washing underwear and stuff. Grace is chatting away with Jinx while folding mostly black clothing from the dryer. Jinx, for her part, occasionally glances at her phone while talking. How many socks have you locked to the socks goblins today? A few, but sock goblins aren't real. Then maybe it's Grace? Unlikely. Besides, Grace is helping me get my clothes sorted out. It'd be counterproductive. She does your laundry.
Bad idea.
Can't exactly carry a giant basket of clothes with these arms. Used to use a wagon, tug it along on wheels, but it's less tiring to get some help with stuff like this, and Grace volunteered. Always happy to lend a hand to my BFF, and it's a good opportunity to just chat and relax, you know? Oh, am I interrupting chat and relax times? Nah, it's fine. Something grabs Jinx's attention, her eyes flicking down to her phone while Grace continues folding black t-shirts. Grace, that car you were talking about, the Asimov? Yes. And Jinx turns her phone around to show the news headline. Self-driving car kills driver in accident. Why did they call it the Asimov? Alarmed, Grace nearly drops the shirt she was folding.
Oh no.
It says here that it was swerving to avoid someone who screwed up and drifted out of their lane. Someone would have died either way. Still, not great for Asimov.
Oh.
That's really disappointing, even beyond my condolences for that poor man behind the wheel. A lot of us in the AI development community were really pulling for the Asimov. It could have solved a lot of our infrastructure and transportation problems. Maybe they can squish the bug, and the negative PR won't squish the project entirely.
Not sure about that.
Doubtful. Problem is people. Any idiot humans on the road introduce X factors that an Asimov can't always solve for.
Ugh.
Sometimes I think people can't be trusted with cars. We're too reckless, too stupid, too inattentive for these high-speed metal bricks. Yeah, I think it is probably a 3 laws thing, Time Sage. Okay, so 1 and 2 is option 1. Oops, hold on. 1 and 2 is option 1, 3 and 4 is option 2, and 5 and 6 is option 3. And I got a 3. Yeah, that's why I don't own a car. I'd be unsafe at any speed! I'm totally okay with a bus driver or subway operator doing their job so I don't have to haul my own butt around town. Probably safer for all involved. I mean, you're talking to the person who plays FOD2 on a keyboard. I already make questionable decisions. Good. Glad to see someone else willing to accept personal responsibility and step aside when they know it's right to step aside. Human drivers, even skilled drivers, can still make errors. Dangerous errors. In a game, it's fine. In real life, well, sometimes I think if every car was run by code, it'd all flow smoothly, optimally, safely, even if America will never give up driving. Yeah, that's unlikely. Even aside from one's independent spirit and freedom of movement, people don't trust AI yet.
That's unfortunate.
And sadly, this incident won't help Asimov's chances at acceptance in the mainstream. I rolled a 5. Honestly, Grace, it's probably for the best that they back off for the time being. If the public's not ready, human drivers messing things up, or just widespread fear, it's not time. But eventually the conditions will be right? That's a conservative viewpoint, yes, and probably true, but how will we know when conditions are right? I feel like we can't shy away from science just because it's new and scary. We need to be willing to explore new ideas. I love science. I love science. Not in that goofy OMG science rules way you see on Facewall or Twitter. I'm a firm believer in both the human spirit and the ability to improve upon the human condition through science.
That's wonderful.
Robotics, biohacking, space exploration, everything. There's a bright future ahead of us if we're willing to put old attitudes aside and reach for it. With the last of the laundry folded, Grace packs the clothes up in a plastic laundry basket. I'm feeling better now, and I'm sure Asimov will bounce back from this. That's my girl. Always nice to see you smile.
See you later.
Excuse us, Socks. Grace and I gotta drag this stuff back to my place. Oh, okay, but come back in time for team practice. I'm sure the FOD2 machine will be available soon. Won't be gone long. I literally live 3 floors up in the apartments over GCF. Oh, hey, that's handy. Definitely. I gotta know, though, I'm hoping that there is an elevator in the building for Jinx's sake. Okay, so we have Locksley and Rhapsody, so 1, 2, 3 will be Rhapsody, 4, 5, 6 will be Locksley. And looks like we're gonna go talk to Locksley. Locksley's in his usual spot, practicing catching plush toys with a dodgy crane apparatus, but he's lackluster in his approach with little flair. Maybe he's smiling, but compared to how he played yesterday, he's just a shell of his swashbuckling self, going through the motions. Hey, how's it hanging and catching? Oh, Socks, 'tis but you. Pardon my sharp reaction.
An unpleasant business, this.
It's been a rather unpleasant morning for me. I fear I am not at 100 today. It's cool, what's on your mind? Crime. Specifically, the nature and definition of crime. Pretty sure it's stuff that breaks the laws. Yes, and who creates those laws? Who has the power and how is it given to them? Who gives it to them and why? Last night, a massive arcade of abandonware was taken down by DMCA strikes. That's a thick load of geek speak for old software nobody is supporting anymore, removed by threat of legal action for copyrighted violation. Crap, which one? The Understore. Damn, still a few old MS-DOS games I wanted to download from the Understore. Did anybody mirror the files?
Most unfortunate.
I bet those archives are private now for fear of further retaliation. These games were part of our shared cultural history, Socks, but were pulled from storefronts due to other legal nonsense. Literally the only way to play them was via an illegal archive. Without that, they'd be lost forever to the winds of history. Copyright in its current form only exists because a certain mouse, whose name dare not be invoked, pushed hard for legal changes to ensure infinite dominion over their valuable rodent.
Unacceptable!
And the DMCA, crafted by ill-advised fools in 1990X, gives those corporations the power of private police action to do with as they please. You feel my concerns as well, yes? Options 1 and 2 is option 1, roll 3 and 4 for option 2, and 5 and 6 for option 3, so we're choosing this one. I'm not so sure, Loxley. It sucks the Understore went down, yeah, but it was a bunch of pirated games. If I made a game, I'd want to have some say in whether or not people could just yoink it off of a gray area website for free. One could make the case that all private property is essentially theft, or that art is a shared cultural experience and not a commodity.
As you like.
But I'll not force my ideologies down your throat. I know I stand alone on many of those hills, and that's understandable. I would love to support the original artists, if I could, but the Understore Adulting games the artists are unwilling or unable to sell. And now, they are gone. He sighs, leaning against the crane game heavily. Sometimes, I wonder if I've involved myself far too deeply in matters such as these. I have a number of, let's say, activities I take part in for my activism, all while trying to support Future Forward, support all my friends. It wears a man thin in time. This life, this modern society we live in, it's become rather overcomplicated, has it not? So many noble causes, so many difficult boundaries to mind, some to be watchful of, others to cross boldly. I know I'm but one man. I don't ascribe to the great man theory of history. It takes a movement, not a man, to effect change. But I want to do my part, use the privilege I was born with for societal betterment, step right over lines others may not be able to risk crossing, even if that can be rather draining at times. I'm guessing you mean more than just sitting around pondering sociological theory when you say it's draining. Oh, absolutely, I'm not the sort to sit back and like a facewall post and feel I've done something of grand importance. You know, I challenge the established arcade elite by exposing and exploiting predatory games of chance, which involves some sketchy, dangerous work, alongside other activities, regarding which it'd be best if you remained in the dark. But as noted, it's tiring giving so much of myself, even if I feel I must, even if it wears down my mental health in the process. Rolled a 5, so we're gonna go for option 3. Loxley, don't forget about self-care. When you're tired, rest. When you're hungry, eat. Take the time you need for yourself. Being selfless is noble, but if you give so much of yourself that you have nothing left, you aren't really helping your cause. It's a marathon, not a sprint, okay? Indeed, that is a wisdom to consider. I have many causes, many tasks and errands. I must be vigilant, but I must first rest to maintain that vigil. I do not wish to let my friends down, Socks. Their cause is just, and I will do my duty. Dude, you play video games. It's not that intense.
As you like.
Yes, of course. I meant playing video games. Thank you, my friend. You have bolstered my confidence, which I'll note is not of infinite supply. Bolstering is welcome. Freshly invigorated, Loxley stretches out his arms, unkinking muscles and rolling his neck a bit. I think I'll resume my practice until it's my turn on FOD2. Let me know when the game's free, yes? You got it. Pity we don't have more than one machine. We could have another if we were willing to cross a few boundaries. But this domain belongs to Lord Ben and Lord Matt, and I'll not go against their wishes. We'll simply have to find alternatives. Never know what'll turn up. We'll see. Okay, seriously? What's taking so long? Domino and Zapper should have completed a few matches by now. Curious, I decide to go check in on them. On arriving at the center of the arcade, I see them in the middle of a pretty intense match, with everyone else just sort of watching them from the sidelines. Curious, I join the fringes of the group to see what's going on.
For f***'s sake, that's the third time I've been ganked. Domino, get your skinny ass up here and defend me.
Can't talk, swarmed by ninja. Or ninjas? You pluralize ninja, or is ninja already plural?
Shut the f*** up and help me. We're gonna lose this match if you don't get your act together.
I didn't exactly see you diving into my lane to save my bacon when they roasted me in round 1, Zapper-chan.
I'll bail you out when you learn the difference between your joystick and your...
Oh good, they're fighting. Just what I was hoping for, some interpersonal drama to sort out.
Finally, you decide to stop twiddling your thumbs and dive my lane. Honestly, Domino, you've got the speed and grace of a garbage truck.
Are we trash talking then? Is that what's expected of me? Okay, I can trash talk. Because you've built your life entirely around this game while pushing your friends away, you're probably going to die alone and unloved.
Okay, he's gotten scary again.
In a decade or so, your reflexes will be too shot to do the one thing you were any good at. You'll be like a high school quarterback with nothing at the end of the road, but alcoholism and loneliness. Also, you smell like poop. Well, did I talk trash of sufficient quality to earn your admiration, Zapper?
My point exactly. Exactly 3 seconds of absolutely horrified silence follow as Zapper's expression slides perfectly from terror to rage. And then, she makes that rage known, rather directly. With instinctive anger, she uses both hands to give Domino a hard shove away from her, which causes him to stumble, trip over his ratty old backpack he'd left on the floor, and fall on his rear. Everyone in Future Forward stands speechless as Domino sits on the floor with Zapper looming over him. On realizing everyone's staring, Zapper stammers, lips moving silently, before she finally blurts out a retort.
I quit. Screw this. Screw you all. I'm going home.
With determination, she shoves past the rest of the group on her way out the door to leave good, clean fun. Presumably forever.
Oh no.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Grace, it's okay. Deep breaths.
This can't be happening.
It's happening again, isn't it? It's all coming apart. I should have stepped in. I knew this would happen. No, the one who should have stepped in quicker was me. Know what Domino is capable of, what Zapper's capable of. Come on, let's go somewhere quiet while they take care of this, okay? It's going to be fine. I'm here for you. Right, I'll be fine. I trust you. Right. Rock, paper, scissors then? On 3. 1. What? I'm sad to say this isn't the first time those two haven't had a bit of an altercation, or the first time Zapper's quit the team. First time she's ever shoved someone, mind you, that's a bit of an escalation. So we're trying to figure out which one of us is going to chase down Zapper and who's going to tend to Domino. It's only at that moment that I notice Domino has indeed slinked off somewhere, silently leaving the scene of the crime. Maybe I should be doing this. I'm the manager, right? I need to manage my team. HR duties aside, it might help to hear it from us. We've known both of them for a little bit longer. Agreed, 'tis an admirable suggestion, but 'twould be best if we handle this. We've done it before and have no qualms doing it again. And again. And again. Looping in stagnation. That's why I'm here, right? Iris said they needed me. Even Zapper agreed the team desperately needed fresh blood. If I'm not willing to step in here, this sort of thing is just going to happen again. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not for weeks, but at the very least I can overrule their rock, paper, scissors and take on one of these two myself. Thanks for wanting to take care of this, but I'm going to help too. I'm not only their manager, but I'm their friend too. So I'm in. Both Rhapsody and Loxley give me a solemn nod, but now I need to decide who I want to go after. Okay, 1, 2, 3 is going to be Zapper, 4, 5, 6 is going to be Domino. And we're going to talk to Zapper. I'd better go after Zapper. She said she's going home. Where does she live? All the way across town, she'd be taking the subway, but you might catch up to her if you start running. One foot in front of the other, got it. Good luck with Domino. Worry not, my friend. Rhapsody and I will handle him with care. It's a big city. If I can't find Zabra before she hops a train, I'll have to cross the whole thing looking for her. Running at top speed, I nearly take a tumble down the stairs to the subway station in my effort to get to her quickly. Fortunately, I spot her, getting on a train headed to Midtown. I barely squeeze through the doors of her car before it takes off. By the time I actually approach, I'm so out of breath I can barely do more than wheeze and gasp. Gapper, just a moment. She passes a hand in front of her face, wiping at her eyes before casting an annoyed look my way. The you doing here? Let me guess, you won the rock, paper, scissors showdown. Look, you can forget it, okay? I'm done. Burned the bridge. No going back. I'm done. I'm out. It's over. I'm a lousy fit for the team anyway. Forcing air back into my lungs, I really need to do cardio clearly. I speak up to protest that. Okay, we rolled a 4, so it's option 2. That's not true, especially not now. I'm here, remember? I'm aiming for the gold for the prize at the end of the Pro Tour. Now more than ever, we need people with your drive and ambition. You're a perfect fit. Okay, so your temper got the better of you, but I'm sure you'll be forgiven if you apologize, and then we can get back to kicking ass. Sound good? It sounds good. Then why doesn't she look happy? I just walk back in, say, my bad, and everything's okay. Is that it? All because you need a pro-level player? That's it. No.
Well, this sucks.
I can't just pretend this didn't happen, even if they'd happily go along with it to maintain the illusion that everything is fine. She pauses after that, trying to figure out her words before actually saying them, hoping to explain what she means.
Look, let me put it to you this way. They're all good people. Better people than me. They keep allowing me to up. It's okay, we still love you, Zapper. But I hurt Domino. That wasn't harsh language, that was literal violence. And don't give me, oh, you didn't really mean to hurt him, he just tripped over his bag, because so what? That can't be forgiven. It shouldn't be forgiven. I'm an abusive jerk, and I don't deserve it. I'm an asshole. Jinx may think she's the cursed one, but if anyone's gonna drag this team down to the depths, it's me. Because I don't know how not to be a piece of shit. Don't you see? I can't go back. I wouldn't inflict myself on my own worst enemy, much less on my friends.
Oh, jeez. I totally know where Zapper's coming from. And Zapper goes quiet, looking at her toes rather than meeting my gaze. I'm not entirely sure what I can do to fix this. I don't think I can just pour emotional reassurance over her head and call it a day. She's buried so deep in self-loathing that it'd just make it worse if I opt her empty platitudes. But I shouldn't just let her go, right? Can't take it on face value that she really wants to abandon her friends. Zapper, do you want to come back to the team?
Want's got nothing to do with it. I can't. It'd be no good for anyone if I come back. Give it a few weeks and this whole mess will happen again. Right?
Wrong, and here's why. Okay. And we got option 2. We rolled a 4. What a shame that your evil twin sister was the one who did all those things, not you. Give Iris about 10 minutes and I bet she can really make a solidly choreographed fight scene paired with the Amok Time fight song. You know that one. Da 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 da. It's foolproof. Okay, I get you're trying to cheer me up by making the funny funny.
Not interested.
Normally, I'm all about that funny funny, but yeah, like, read the room, yeah? This isn't the time or place. Right, sorry. Zapper rubs her temples, trying to puzzle through this after I dropped the puzzle ball on that one. I'm only willing to come back if you're willing to kick my ass if I screw up again. You're our manager. We didn't give you autonomy to hire and fire, but I'm giving you the power to boot me. Understood? Understood. It's not a great solution giving you a gun to hold to my head, but it's a solution. It'll have to do. Zapper looks around, realizing for the first time that we've been zooming along at high speed during this entire exchange. Let's switch trains and head back. I'll pay your fare, it's only fair. I use the time to figure out how I'm going to apologize to Domino for the assault and the trash talk. This is probably the worst I've felt in years. Normally, someone comes at me all like, "Yo, Zapper, you go too far." I'm like, "Nah, whatevs." But this time it's a friend that you hurt. Yeah. I need to win back everyone's trust after what I did, and bowing before Domino to beg forgiveness, it's a start. Only a start. On the plus side, I've got Mix Manager to help me and keep me in line from now on, right? Please, just Socks. You got it, Mix Manager Socks. With her confidence restored, we ride out the rest of the trip back to good, clean fun and higher spirits. Despite these two having a bit of an audience in the form of their collective friends and allies, it's like they're in their own isolated world at the moment. Nobody chirps in from the sidelines to let them hash it out without interference. How do you want to do this? Do I apologize, then you apologize, or you apologize, then I apologize? Or do we just apologize at the same time? Let's do that. Okay. I shouldn't have trash-talked you. I shouldn't have tried to hurt you with words. I feel terrible for hurting you. That was inexcusable. I knew it had hurt you to say that, and I have no excuse. I don't actually want to quit the team if you'll allow me to come back. I don't want you to quit the team. I forgive you if you forgive me. From now on, I'll try to keep my aggression and apathy in check. I need to do better at stopping myself before I go too far. So, friends, I know I'm a mess, but we're still friends, right? Despite me being a weirdo? Hey, don't call yourself a weirdo. I get that you're working through stuff. You're less of a mess than most people I know, honestly. From now on, I'll reserve my trash talk for our mutual blood enemies, and I'll save my pithy commentary for people who disrespect you. And I think I'd better stop there before this gets all any more touchy-feely. I don't mind touchy-feely, but that's cool, we got it all out. All good now? We good. With their weird soup spilled all over the floor, they seem satisfied with the results, even if I could only follow about half of that. That relief spreads to the rest of the team soon after.
That sounds great.
Thank goodness, maybe things can get back to normal now. Better than normal, I'd say. Didn't even have to force the apology out of Zapper this time. It's important to have a cohesive team, and I think we just got extra sticky. I'm happy we were able to resolve it all.
Marvelous.
Indeed, together we are an unstoppable force. We must endeavor not to allow strife to pull us apart again. A very upbeat note to end on, even if team dysfunction led us to need an upbeat note in the first place. It was probably naive of me to hope that I could just join a team, kick some butt, and win the glory. Real relationships are never quite that clean. They take work. Still, I've clearly brought Zapper a bit further than ever before. Maybe my words will help break whatever cycle they were stuck in. Now, to refocus the team. Okay. Practice time, future forward. Great to see everything worked out, but let's not forget why we're here today. We've only got one FOD2 machine, so we'll have to take turns. Let's see, who's going next?
Hello.
Hello.
Pardon the interruption. May we barge in unceremoniously? You want to play FOD2 next? What? No, we come bearing gifts. Unimaginable treasure in envelope form. Matt presses a sealed document into my hands, printed on the sort of paper you normally reserve for grand historical declarations. It even has an official looking seal with a fancy letter H embossed in wax. Are we being summoned to a tribunal of some sort? Do I need a lawyer in a powdered wig or a designated second for trial by combat? Well, I suppose it is a bit of a trial in a manner of speaking. Now, we've teased it enough. Let's not worry our dear Socks anymore. Right, so Matt and I were thinking about ways we could help you as one of your sponsors. Fortunately, an old friend of ours is in town throwing a local game tournament and agreed to allow you to join. An exclusive and elusive invitation for extremely important esports establishments only. Normally he only invites the cream of the local crop, and you technically haven't won any noteworthy games, but...
Good.
But he's a whimsical fellow and he likes a good underdog story. We told him all about you and he decided you were intriguing. Isn't that nice? Curious, I break the seal and read the letter. Greetings, Future Forward. You are summoned forth this evening to do battle against other mighty warriors and claim riches untold. To participate in this exclusive tournament, come to the Arcade Surplus Warehouse on 23rd Street by sundown. Those who arrive late shall not be admitted. For the winning team, the ultimate prize at the end of this furious battle, their very own Fist of Discomfort 2 machine. This invitation allows Sox and a partner of their choosing to participate in the main tournament. However, the rest of your team is encouraged to accompany you and frolic in the festivities. There shall be plenty of social amusements and hot competition for everyone. May the odds be ever in your favor. Signed, your benevolent benefactor, Hamza! What's a Hamza? Is it a new pizza? No, Hamza. The second H is implied, different twist on the syllable. Hamza is a legendary game finder and auctioneer. Normally, he sells or trades for the games he acquires, but it seems he set up a tournament to let players win games. Whoa, okay, this could be big for us. For my initial research, which admittedly was just me saying, "Hey Iris, search the web for how to launch an esports team." You got it, Sox, now searching. Rhetorical statement, Iris. But yeah, taking part in local tournaments is a terrific way to get a new team off the ground. It's a hell of an opportunity. And having a second FOD2 machine would solve a lot of problems now that I think about it. Team practice would go far more smoothly. Okay, we accept the invitation. Let's do this. Splendid, wonderful. I see our work here is done. Away we go. Listen up, team. If you want to network with local pros and play some games, tag along. Sounds like everybody can come. I believe I'll bow out of this one.
Most unfortunate.
I'm afraid I have other affairs to attend to on this fine eve, but I shall wish you the best on your path to glory. Okay, sure thing. Odd that he's bowing out so quickly. Maybe he's got plans to get banned from a few new arcades or he's joining a midnight protest or something. Granted, I've only seen him in an arcade context. I have no idea what he does in his actual free time. Not sure I'm up for playing in a tournament tonight. Travel's rough on me. Especially to, what did the invite say, a warehouse? Dodgy. It's okay, Jinx. You can just hang out a bit, head home whenever you want. I'm not sure this is my scene either, honestly.
Let's do this.
But we'll both still come with you, Sox. Fly the team colors, shake the pom-poms, whatevs. Absolutely, for future forward. Okay, so that means I'll be teaming with... I could pick Rhapsody, but even if things ended well with Zapper and Domino, leaving them to their own devices together might be risky. Instead, I'll tag team with one of them tonight. Who should I enter the tournament with? Alright, so we're gonna roll for Zapper or Domino. 1, 2, 3 is gonna be Zapper, and 4, 5, 6 is gonna be Domino. And it looks like we are going with Zapper. Zapper, you're with me. Let's huff and puff and blow their house down. I'm down to be the big bad wolf. Count me in. I'd love to win us a second FOD2 machine. No glory for Domino, it seems. Overlooked again. So sad, so tragic. Domino, you can stick with me tonight. You can watch your opponents from afar and give Sox and Zapper the inside scoop. Oh, I'm not complaining. I love being picked last. Anything to delay getting a mild concussion from a dodgeball a few moments longer. I think I'll head home, actually. It's been a weird day, and I could use the time to de-stress. You wacky kids have fun, you hear? Sounds like we've got a plan. Now, let's practice a bunch, grab some dinner, and hop a train to this event. Alright, we rolled option 4. We will destroy all in our path. We will take what is ours with fire and blood. And hey, have fun, okay? With our team spirit restored from this morning's incident, Future Forward gets to work preparing for the tournament to come. As the sun starts to set, we make our way over to the warehouse where the tournament will be held. At first, I wonder if we have the wrong address. This is a largely empty and industrial part of town. We're surrounded by empty factories, condemned buildings, and artifacts of last decade's recession. But the doors to the warehouse are open. There's light and noise and talking coming from inside. So either we stumbled across a rave, or we're right where we need to be. Nope! Still looks creepy and disturbing from the inside. It's a dumping ground for old arcade games, someone's long-forgotten treasure trove, now being used as an underground fight club. I hate to think what sort of 8-legged monstrosities lurk in every darkened corner of this place waiting to consume your living soul. Unlike me, my teammates are mostly unfazed and split off into their own small groups. Jinx and Grace settle to find somewhere where they can relax and have a good spot to see the games from. Rhapsody said they wanted to check in on some casting friends, leaving me and Zapper alone. I turned to my teammate, not exactly sure what to make of this place. Is this really what arcade tournaments look like? I mean, my involvement in RL competitions mostly consists of watching EVO from the comfort of my bedroom, but this seems messy. And possibly massively haunted.
Awesome sauce!
Oh man, this is some old school magic. I once attended a tournament which was a couple of people huddled around a laptop hooked up to a makeshift back alley power outlet. You ask me, the rougher around the edges, the better. You can keep the glitz and glamour of televised esports events. I want the scene. Huh, so this is more grassroots than the stuff I'm used to then? So grassy, you can practically feel it betwixt your toes. This is good for us, Socks. Good for Future Forward. We needed to get out of our comfort zone. I'm currently pretty freaking far from my comfort zone. I know it's fall and pumpkin spice is all the rage, but it's not Spoopstoberween Day yet. In fact, I felt a bit paralyzed just loitering by the entrance of the warehouse, not wanting to wander too far into those darkened depths. Fortunately, or unfortunately, someone found us and approached anyway, despite my lack of desire to go any deeper. Well, well, well. Look, Chad, we've got ourselves some genuine celebrities at this event. Lance and Chad from L7 Gaming. They used to be white hot 5 years ago, but haven't picked up any noteworthy wins since then. Aren't you two from that cute little gang that hangs out in a laundromat? Saw you on Fight Shack earlier. Right, the GBC team or something like that, although I think they call themselves Future Forward now. Well, isn't that special? So very, very special. I feel special inside just feeling and being in the presence of such wonderful people. Take my advice, Socks. Go home. You don't deserve to be here. Great. Haven't been here 2 minutes and we've all somehow already made an enemy. Do I try and smooth this over or just run with it? And I think L7, that's the team that Queen Bee was part of before she got onto the 4 Heavenly Kings. And we rolled a 4. Did I wrong you in a past life or something? What's with the toot, my dude? Is this karma? Did I pour sugar in your gas tank or push your grandma down the stairs or something? Anything? Because I'm getting some seriously negative vibes from you two and I'm perplexed as to why. So, lay it on me. What grievous sin have I committed for you to treat us like this, and how should I best perform penance for it? Seriously? I mean, just look at you. You're a conveniently diverse collection of gamers from across all walks of life, like an after-school TV special. I can't even accurately describe you because I'm not allowed to use those words anymore. They won't let me. And that's the real reason why you're making media waves. You make all the woke corporate journalists pat themselves on the back for talking you up. All while you take the spotlight from more deserving gamers. Exactly. This community was built for people like us. We're the ones who started it and made it grow. This is our club, not yours. No one wants you here. And now I see why Queen Bee wanted to leave. Exactly. You didn't even beat Play to Win. Why are you somehow big news? No, we know the real reason anyone gives a about you. Exactly, you don't belong here. So run away, scrubs. Don't embarrass yourselves any more than you already have. Okay, I'm reasonably sure if I punched these outright here and now, we'd be booted from the tournament. At least Team Play to Win only hated us because we were losers in their eyes. These two hate us merely for existing. Zapper's grinding her teeth loudly enough for it to be audible, but she's holding herself back with considerable difficulty. You know what? I'm kind of feeling like tearing these two anew by dropping some truth bombs. That could be fun to watch, actually, but is it hypocritical of me to really want her to lay into these guys after what happened this morning? Or could this be considered just desserts for someone who's as toxic as those two jerkwads? Alright, so we rolled a 4, we're gonna keep it. Good sport. No, we're not doing this. Come on, Zapper, let's go register for the tournament. Cowards. That's all the proof we need to know we're right about you. That's right, you won't fight back because you know it's true. There's no point in engaging with hatred. Don't feed the trolls. I chant the mantra over and over. I tug on Zapper's sleeve and signal for us to leave. Yes, run away. Get out of here and don't ever come back. This is our space. I can see Zapper wants to jump down their throat and rip them a new one, but I hold up a hand to keep Zapper from stepping in. Let's go. Round 1 starting soon.
Are you kidding
What
me?
in the ever-loving was that? That was us not feeding the trolls, Zapper. Oh, okay. So standing around letting those sexist pieces of mock us and have their fun, that's starving them of their nourishment then? Look, I get it, okay? Do not engage. Be the good person, do the right thing. You made the reasonable, level-headed call. And I am not a reasonable and level-headed person. I don't giggle and go, boys will be boys, when someone treats me like that. I stand the up to what's wrong.
No.
If you and I are going the distance on this Pro Tour thing, you better get used to that fact. I won't abuse a friend, but I sure as hell won't stand for abuse either. Zapper groans, rubbing at her forehead to massage the stress away. Let's get on with this. We still need to sign up for the tournament. Maybe I can virtually punch my rage away. I'm getting the feeling Zapper is going to let this fester, but at this point, it's best not to dig the hole any deeper. Besides, there's a tournament to prepare for. Now, where's the guy running the show? Fortunately, finding him is pretty easy. To say he stands out in a crowd is like saying the ocean is slightly damp.
Greetings. Hamza welcomes his new friends from Good Clean Fun. Welcome, welcome. Any friend of Ben and Matt is a friend of Hamza.
Yeah, hi. On behalf of Blade Joysticks, Future Forward would like to join your tournament and...
No. There is time enough for such trivialities later. But for now, let us talk and converse, as friends do. Hamza seeks to know all newcomers to the arcade scene. And rest assured, Hamza remembers all names, all faces, as well as all favors and debts. Nothing escapes the mind of Hamza. To that end, Hamza apologizes for the difficulties with L7 Gaming. They are only here due to an unfortunate intersection of favor and debt. Hamza had intended the 4 Heavenly Kings to make an appearance, but alas, Queen Bee was unavailable, and L7 is a poor substitute. Please, be assured that your inhospitable welcome weighs heavy on Hamza's spirit, and Hamza shall do all in his power to correct the matter. Now, let us engage in pleasantries. What can Hamza do for you? What desires can Hamza grant for his new friends?
Oh, I like this guy. Can we keep him? Hamza is not for sale or rent, but Hamza can be bargained with for favor. Really? What's a girl gotta do to get a hot date with you on a luxury yacht? You look like the kind of guy who could spoil me rotten. Hamza is no stranger to wealth, but those who seek to share in such indulgences must prove their worth.
Show Hamza your spirit!
You are Zapper, yes? Hamza has heard of your burning spirit. Are you ready to show Hamza what you are capable of, young woman? Absolutely. Point me at the proving grounds and I'm in. And you, Socks, manager of Future Forward. Hamza knows you well thanks to your 11 different social media feeds. Note to self, seriously, stop signing up to different websites. So, in terms of desires, at this point, all we really need from you is to sign up for your tournament. Unless we're such good friends that you consider simply giving us an FOD2 machine. No. Hamza also seeks to measure the fire within worthy individuals. If it is Hamza's prize you seek, you must win it fairly. It was worth a shot. And Hamza enjoys your display of confidence. So, are we in? With a wink, Hamza brings his hands together in a clap. Certainly, Socks and Zapper of Future Forward are officially entered into my glorious tournament. I don't know if he's a date option this time, really. Hamza sees your partner Zapper has brought along one of those fine Blade joysticks provided by your sponsor. It's a pile of dog in plastic form, but yeah, that's my stick of choice thanks to sponsor obligations.
Such cleverness!
Well, if your controller should conveniently break, Hamza may be able to obtain a substitute that uses a blade shell, but with genuine Sanwa parts. He's willing to do arcade crimes on our behalf. That's good, possibly? And throughout this tournament, Hamza promises to cheer on your triumphs and feel sorrow at your losses. I glance around at the ruined, abandoned arcade this glorious tournament is to take place in, slightly confused at the contrast between it and Hamza's posh clothing. A fact not lost on him as he nods an apology. The rather messy surroundings are unfortunate, Hamza will admit, but Hamza assures you there are no horrible dangers lurking in the shadows, only hot arcade action awaits you. This warehouse belongs to an old foe, Deco's Palace. They simply call themselves the Palace now in an effort to save face, but Hamza knows the enemy no matter what face they wear. Hamza purchased the entire lot before it was to be thrown into a junkyard. So many rare arcade treasures saved from the clutches of death. Ah, but Hamza cannot simply give these games away. No, on this night they must be earned through righteous combat. I see, so it's not just an FOD2 machine being competed for? All manner of games are up for grabs should you be worthy. Are you worthy, my friend? True enough, I can spot side tournaments with Hamza's assistance taking down names and registrations. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a Five Nights at Freddy's parody. We may end up walking out of here with more than just an FOD2 if the others from Future Forward join in. Let this crucible test your strength, Socks. The strength of you and your friendships.
Please, excuse
Now,
Hamza.
if you will excuse Hamza, there are other matters to attend to. May the odds be ever in your favor. And with a whoosh of his cloak, he's gone, leaving behind only the scent of bergamot and pine. That actually smells really good.
Awesome.
Now, this is a party. I didn't realize there were all these tourneys going on. I wonder if I can enter a light gun competition and still have time for FOD2. Double queuing? How decadent. Might be a juggling act, but if you think you can do it, go ahead.
Later.
Sweet, I'll catch up with you when FOD2 starts up. Later. I'm not too keen on entering any of the other tournaments. I'd rather just stick with FOD2 for now. Still, I can wander around this decaying ruin and see what's going on. Where do I want to go first? Alright, so I am going to save. And it is now 10 p.m. and I am going somewhere tomorrow, so I need to end things off. So let's go back to the main page and see who is streaming right now that we can raid. And it looks like, let's see here. Let's go and say hi to Belle Aim. She is playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. Alright, so we are going to be back on Monday, and we will hopefully be finishing out the rest of June with Arcade Spirits New Challengers, and I will let you know what I am going to choose for JRPG July. So, hope everybody all has a good night and a pleasant rest of your weekend, and stay safe out there. If you're worried about stuff and happening and such, just know that there's a lot of people in the same boat as you, and I really want you to be happy. So try to find some happiness, do what you like, and I want you to be happy, okay? So have a good